All right. Good afternoon, Darryl. How are you?
Great, Lauren. How are you?
Good. Thanks for meeting with me this afternoon. All right. So we chatted before this call. Want to get some additional details from you about your previous experience. So let's start a little farther back when you were with Westmoreland. You were there for quite some time. So talk to me a little bit about what that contractor facilitator position looked like.
All right. Pretty much what that job consisted of was that, again, I was contracted, so I went in a few days a week, actually worked with at-risk children, and that was in many forms. One was conducting groups, also one-on-one support for at-risk children who had behavior problems. Also, that it actually evolved to me doing training for administrative staff, crisis intervention. I also did a cultural diversity training for staff. So it actually grew. As you can see, I had longevity there. So it continued to grow and bloom. I also worked with the parents. Some of the kids had behaviors, and parents would come to the school. I would identify what were some of the efforts we were working on, some of the behavioral plans that we had, and also did follow-up, did phone calls, not to just report problems, but also to give praise reports of progress. Also identified behavior charts for the children to take home and to have personally on hand for themselves to visually see their progress. So and that was it. And also, like I said, met regularly with the principals. So I was in all three schools, the elementary, the middle school, as well as the high school.
Okay, so all age groups.
Yes.
Okay. And then from there, you did some work as a team leader, vocational counselor. So talk to me about what that entailed.
So yeah, definitely was a team leader / vocational counselor. I started off as a vocational counselor and eventually got promoted to a team leader. That job pretty much entailed me working with young adult who were disabled and linking them to jobs in the community, providing training on the job, working with them till they can become independent. With that, I supervised 6 individuals that were vocational counselors. We met weekly for staff meetings. I did appraisals. I also provided training, met with upper management to give regular reports, wrote documentation, checked documentation for staff to ensure that it was meeting the requirements. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay. And then, of course, something that you have tons and tons of years experience in, you've been a pastor for over 25 years. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're working with all age groups there too. So I know it's pretty broad and a lot of it's pretty self-explanatory, but is there anything in that particular, part of your life that you can relate to being in this kind of supervisory position?
Exactly. Good question. Although it's a church, it's also somewhat a business. So we do have some hired individuals that work for us, but also leadership falls directly under me. That number goes to about 30 if we include the hired help as well as leadership. Again, I'm very strong on training, and so I do a lot of training. I just recently, I'm not proud to say, but had a challenging situation with one of the musicians, had to meet one-on-one. It grew to eventually a meeting with other leaders at the church. I had to do documentation. The goal was to try to strengthen his abilities and not quickly get rid of him. So I really valued him as an individual, but needed the performance to grow and improve. So that was a recent recent challenge that I had to deal with. But overall, again, providing training for all of them. We do monthly meetings, not weekly meetings, and we review budget. We talk about allocation of where monies might be shifted. So we deal with the financial piece as well. So with that, it includes me working with youth and young adult. We have a new program kind of evolving where I'm really recruiting youth and young adults to the church. Our church is very diverse with seniors, middle age, young adults. So really trying to grow that and building rapport with those individuals. So it's kind of a quick snapshot of what I've been doing there.
Perfect. I like it.